The galaxy had always been a vast, endless expanse of stars, planets, and civilizations. Each race prided itself on its own achievements, its own technology, and its own strength. For centuries, the United Galactic Council, a coalition of the most powerful species, had maintained a delicate balance. None dared to challenge the others openly. For war in the galaxy was costly, unpredictable, and often devastating. And then, one quiet morning, the status quo changed. From the dark depths of the Orion sector, an object of unimaginable scale and power emerged. At first, it was just a blip on long-range sensors. Some astronomers thought it was a new star forming, a rare cosmic phenomenon. But when the readings came in, every advanced sensor in the sector confirmed the impossible. It was not a star, it was a battleship like no other. The enormous craft moved with precision, cutting through light years of space with ease. Its hull reflected starlight like liquid silver, and its engines emitted a strange glow that no known technology could replicate. Most alarming to the galaxy's intelligence networks, the ship bore the insignia of a species many had assumed to be primitive and confined to a small, blue planet on the outskirts of the Milky Way. Earth, humans. For many of the galaxy's most advanced species, humans were considered fragile, unpredictable, and insignificant. Stories about Earth's inhabitants were mostly anecdotal. Some said humans had barely left their solar system. Others claimed that they were too emotional to handle complex diplomacy or war. None of them imagined that humanity could construct a ship of such scale. None of them imagined that the ship was armed, shielded, and prepared for battle at a scale that rivaled the most elite fleets in the galaxy. In the Galactic Council chambers, panic spread like wildfire. Holographic displays showed the human ship approaching, and every species present leaned forward, their expressions a mixture of disbelief and fear. "This is impossible," said Tharl, the counselor of the Zyran species, whose reputation for sharp analysis was unmatched. His 3 eyes blinked rapidly as he examined the readings. The humans cannot possibly possess technology capable of surviving in deep space for this long. Their propulsion systems, energy output, it doesn't align with any records we have. "Then what do we call this?" asked Skor, a reptilian counselor whose home planet had once dominated several star systems. His voice was low and cautious. "An accident? A rogue vessel?" "It's not an accident," said Counselor Yelana, her voice calm but edged with worry. Yelana represented the Meridian, a race known for their psychic sensitivity and foresight. "I can sense it. This is deliberate. They are coming. They know exactly what they are doing." Across the galaxy, star systems that had never even spoken to each other were suddenly alert. Military fleets scrambled, scouts were dispatched, and communications networks buzzed with frantic messages. The arrival of one human ship had shattered centuries of assumptions. Meanwhile, aboard the human battleship, Captain Elena Ross stood on the command deck, staring out at the stars. She was a human in her late 30s, with sharp features hardened by years of service. Her uniform, crisp and dark, contrasted with the glowing consoles around her. The hum of the ship's engines resonated in her chest, a steady reminder of the power they carried. "Captain," said Lieutenant Amir Chen, her second in command, approaching with a data tablet in hand. "We're entering the Altharian sector. Scanners indicate multiple warships are moving to intercept us." Elena's gaze didn't waver. "Let them come. This is exactly why we built this ship. We were never going to be ignored again." "Well," Amir frowned. "With all due respect, Captain, most civilizations still see humans as insignificant. They might try diplomacy first." Elena smiled faintly, but there was steel in her eyes. "We've tried diplomacy for centuries, Amir. And every time, we were dismissed, underestimated, or mocked. Now, we're not just sending a message, we are proving a fact. Humanity cannot be ignored." The human battleship was more than a weapon. It was a statement. Every system on board had been designed not just for survival, but for dominance. Its shields could withstand bombardment that would destroy entire fleets. Its weapons were precise, yet devastating. Its AI operated at a level that even the galaxy's most advanced minds struggled to comprehend. And its crew, humans trained in strategy, combat, and ingenuity, were unparalleled in their adaptability. Far from Earth, the first alien scouts arrived to confront the human ship. The leaders of the Altharian Coalition, a powerful alliance of species known for their strict military hierarchy, issued a message to the humans: turn back immediately. You are entering restricted space. Compliance will ensure survival. Resistance will result in annihilation. The message was stern, but the humans responded differently than any other species might have. Open a channel, Captain Elena ordered. Her voice was calm, authoritative. Let them hear us clearly. The screen flickered, and a tall, armored figure appeared. Its skin was metallic, glinting under the light of their ship's interior. It spoke again, sharper this time. You are human. We have observed your species for decades. You have no business in this sector. Identify yourself and your intentions. Elena's reply was simple, but firm. We are humanity. This is the Battleship Odyssey. Our intention is to ensure that humans are never underestimated again. If you intend to challenge us, we are prepared. There was silence on the other side. Then, the alien commander's eyes widened. The council had trained them to expect fear in the face of overwhelming power. But the human captain did not hesitate, did not falter. This is unprecedented, the commander muttered. They are unshakable. And that was the moment the galaxy truly began to understand humans. As the fleets converged, the human crew worked seamlessly. Engineers recalibrated shields, while weapons officers prepared energy cannons. Navigators calculated trajectories that allowed the Odyssey to avoid traps with precision that even AI struggled to predict. And all the while, Captain Elena Ross maintained calm authority, her decisions decisive yet measured. In the observation deck, she looked at the stars, thinking not of war, but of what humanity represented. Humans had survived plague, famine, and war on their home planet. They had built civilizations from scratch, crossed oceans, and eventually reached the stars. Each human aboard the Odyssey carried centuries of resilience, adaptability, and ingenuity. Captain, Amir said softly, they're readying their weapons. They'll fire in 10, 9. Elena nodded. Let them see what humans are capable of. Not just our firepower, but our resolve. The first volley came. Plasma beams lanced through space, striking the shields of the Odyssey. Sensors recorded the impact. And alarms sounded, but the ship did not falter. The shields absorbed the energy. And the human response was immediate and devastating. Tactical beams fired back, targeting enemy engines and weapons arrays with surgical precision. In less than an hour, what should have been a catastrophic battle turned into a demonstration of dominance. Alien commanders scrambled to adjust tactics, but humans adapted faster. They had no fear of the unknown, no hesitation to exploit opportunities. And with each move, the galaxy's long-held assumptions about humanity began to crumble. Back in the Galactic Council chambers, the situation was chaotic. Holographic projections showed the battle unfolding, and even the most skeptical species could not deny what they saw. Humans were not just surviving, they were winning. And they were doing it in a way that combined raw power with tactical genius. This is not just a battle, said Thoril, his three eyes wide. This is a declaration. Humans are something else entirely. Indeed, Yelena agreed. And we have only seen the beginning. The human battleship did not pursue indiscriminate destruction. Their strikes were precise, aimed only to neutralize threats, while minimizing unnecessary damage. In every maneuver, there was intelligence, strategy, and purpose. Humanity had brought not just power, but ethics, ingenuity, and fearlessness into the galactic stage. By the end of the confrontation, the Odyssey had proven itself. The Altharian Coalition, once proud and arrogant, had been humbled. Messages of surrender, negotiation, and curiosity poured in from across the sector. Aliens who had once looked down on humans now looked on with a mix of awe and respect. Captain Elena Ross stood on the command deck, watching as communications flowed in. She knew this was only the beginning. Humanity had entered the galaxy not as a weak, struggling species, but as a force to be reckoned with, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The galaxy was changing. The name, humans, had begun to echo through the corridors of power in every sector. From small planetary systems to massive interstellar empires, whispers traveled fast. Earth's battleship, the Odyssey, was not just a vessel. It was a symbol, a warning, a statement, and a promise. All at once, Captain Elena Ross had anticipated this. Humanity had always been underestimated. But the first encounter with the Altharian coalition had taught her one lesson. Power alone would not secure Earth's place among the stars. Strategy, diplomacy, and demonstration of intellect were equally important. In the war room of the Odyssey, a large circular chamber lined with holographic projectors, Elena gathered her officers. Lieutenant Amir Chen, Engineer Tara Singh, Communications Officer Jalen Brooks, and Tactical Commander Rael Ortiz stood around the main console. "Reports are coming in from the sectors we just entered," Amir said, his voice calm but tense. "Several species are initiating contact. Some request alliances, others want trade agreements, and a few are issuing veiled threats." Elena nodded. "We anticipated this. Humanity has shown it is strong. Now, we must show that we are also reasonable. We will accept diplomacy, but we will not be bullied." Jalen Brooks tapped a control, opening a stream of incoming communications. Screens lit up with alien faces, each one representing a civilization that spanned light years. The variety was astonishing: tall, crystalline beings whose bodies shimmered with refracted light, humanoid forms with multiple limbs and eyes, beasts with armored exteriors and voices that rumbled like distant storms. Each was unique, but all shared the same look in their eyes: curiosity, awe, and respect. The first delegate to speak was from the Thrin Empire, a species of octopus-like beings known for their cunning and intelligence. Their representative, Admiral Vash, appeared on the screen. "Humans," he said, his voice distorted through translation devices, "your arrival has shocked the galaxy. We were unaware that your species could produce technology of this magnitude. It is impressive." Elena smiled slightly. "Thank you, Admiral. We have always been capable. We are simply showing the galaxy that humans can stand among the stars." Vash's tentacles flexed. "We wish to understand your intentions. Are you here to dominate? Or to cooperate?" Elena's eyes were steady. "We are here to ensure humanity's survival and prosperity. We do not seek unnecessary conflict, but we will not allow others to underestimate or oppress us. Cooperation is welcome, but weakness is not tolerated." The Admiral paused, then inclined his head. "A clear and honest answer. We respect that. Perhaps we can discuss trade and knowledge exchange." One by one, more species reached out. Some offered technology, some offered military alliances, and some offered information. The galaxy, which had long seen humanity as fragile and insignificant, was beginning to reconsider. Humans were no longer a curiosity, they were a rising force. Meanwhile, not all species welcomed this new reality. In the outer sectors, the Drael Consortium, a coalition of aggressive militaristic civilizations, convened in secret. The Drael had long held territories they considered untouchable. The sudden emergence of a human battleship in their vicinity was intolerable. "Our sensors confirm the Odyssey is now in the Arendor cluster," said General Kryn, the Drael warlord, addressing his council. "This human ship is beyond anything we have seen. We cannot allow it to challenge our supremacy." Council members murmured agreement. Their fleets were vast, but none had ever faced an opponent with both power and ingenuity like the humans. Kryn leaned forward, claws tapping the table. "Prepare a strike fleet. But be warned, These humans are clever. Do not underestimate them. We will crush them. But we must plan carefully. Back on the Odyssey, Elena sensed the tension. Humans had entered the galaxy like a storm, and storms always attracted challengers. She turned to Rael Ortiz, her tactical commander. "Rael, begin simulations," she said. "We need to be prepared for any attack. Not just defense, we need to understand every potential strategy they might use." Rael nodded. "Understood, Captain. I'll run every possible scenario, including full-scale assaults and ambushes." The ship's AI, AURA, integrated all simulations and provided real-time data. Its voice was calm, precise, and emotionless. "Captain Ross, simulations indicate a high probability of engagement with multiple hostile fleets within the next 24 hours. Probability of human tactical superiority remains high due to adaptability and innovation." Elena glanced at the holographic display. The galaxy was vast, but she knew that each victory, each negotiation, would reshape humanity's reputation. "Prepare our message for the Drail," she said. "We do not want unnecessary war, but we will not back down." Communications. Officer Jalen Brooks tapped a sequence, sending a secure transmission directly to the Drail High Command. The message was short, firm, and unambiguous. "We come as explorers, diplomats, and protectors of humanity. Any attempt to attack will be met with decisive action. You have been warned." As the Odyssey moved forward, the galaxy began to take notice. News networks across various sectors broadcasted stories of the humans' battleship, often in astonished tones. Many species who had dismissed humanity as weak now began to reconsider their assumptions. Intelligence reports flooded councils across systems. Humans were no longer a minor player, they were now central to interstellar politics. On Earth, news of the Odyssey's mission spread quickly. The world watched as humans became a galaxy-wide phenomenon. Governments and citizens alike were proud, but they also understood the responsibility that came with power. Humanity was no longer confined to its solar system. Humans were now ambassadors, defenders, and leaders in a universe full of unknown challenges. The first major diplomatic summit for the Odyssey took place in the neutral system of Leratus. It was a meeting called by the Galactic Council, now desperate to understand what humans wanted and how to manage their influence. Delegates from hundreds of species arrived, some cautiously optimistic, others wary and calculating. Captain Elena Ross addressed the summit from the command deck of the Odyssey, projected through advanced holograms to every corner of the chamber. "We come in peace," she began, her voice steady and commanding. "Humanity seeks survival, cooperation, and progress. We do not seek unnecessary conflict, but we will defend ourselves. We ask for respect, honesty, and fairness. That is all." The chamber was silent for a moment, then filled with murmurs. Some delegates were impressed, some suspicious, but all could not ignore the truth in her words. Humans had arrived, and they had changed the rules of the game. Among the attendees was Ambassador Lyran of the Solari Dominion, known for their pragmatism and strategic thinking. "Captain Ross," Lyran said, "your honesty is remarkable. Most species would seek advantage first, then claim diplomacy. Humans speak plainly. That is unusual." Elena nodded. "Humanity has survived because we adapt, learn, and act with integrity when it matters. We are not perfect, but we are resilient, and we are here to prove that resilience on a galactic scale." While diplomacy unfolded, tensions continued to simmer. The Drail Consortium was preparing its fleet, as were other aggressive species who saw humans as a threat to their influence. The Odyssey had proven humanity's strength in battle, but many still questioned how far humans could extend their reach. Could one battleship truly represent an entire species? Could humans maintain their principles under pressure from millions of potential enemies? Back on the Odyssey, the crew trained relentlessly. Every simulation, every maneuver, and every drill was designed not just for survival, but for excellence. Humans were fast learners, innovative thinkers, and unafraid to challenge assumptions. Engineers experimented with energy flows, weapons specialists refined targeting systems, and strategists devised new tactics that even alien intelligence had not considered. Elena watched her crew with pride. "We are more than a ship," she told them during one briefing. "We are humanity's future in the galaxy. Every decision we make, every action we take, reflects not just on us, but on all humans. We must be strong, smart, and unyielding." As the Odyssey continued its journey, reports of minor skirmishes, trade agreements, and exploratory missions filled the galaxy. Humans were proving themselves not just as warriors, but as innovators, diplomats, and problem solvers. The combination of power, strategy, and morality made humans an unexpected force, and yet, the galaxy remained vast and unpredictable. Ancient empires, hidden fleets, and unknown species still waited beyond the stars. Challenges were inevitable, but for the first time, humans were ready not just to survive, but to thrive. Captain Elena Ross stood on the observation deck one evening, staring at the swirling nebulae of a nearby system. Beside her, Amir Chen, loyal and steadfast, spoke softly. "Do you think they understand us, Captain?" he asked. Elena shook her head slightly. "Some do, some don't. It doesn't matter. We don't need them to understand fully. We just need them to recognize that humans cannot be ignored." And with that, the Odyssey moved forward, a symbol of humanity's strength, ingenuity, and determination. The galaxy would never see humans the same way again. For the first time in history, humanity was not merely part of the universe, it was becoming a force that could shape it. The galaxy was no longer the same. News of humanity's odyssey spread like wildfire, from the crowded city planets of the Solari Dominion to the crystalline spires of the Thrin Empire. Across countless light years, species that had once dismissed humans as primitive now looked upon them with caution, curiosity, and a new form of respect. But respect in the galaxy was never enough. Some saw humans as a threat to the balance of power. Among these was the Drail Consortium, whose fleets had been gathering in the shadows of the Arendor cluster. General Kryn had waited patiently, knowing that striking too early could expose weakness. But the longer humans were allowed to operate freely, the stronger and more influential they would become. On board the Odyssey, Captain Elena Ross was aware of the mounting tension. Her ship had already engaged minor hostile fleets, negotiated alliances, and brokered trade agreements. But she knew the real test was yet to come. "Captain," Lieutenant Amir Chen said, scanning the star charts, "we've detected multiple Drail fleets approaching from 3 different vectors. Estimates suggest combined firepower exceeds anything we have encountered so far." Elena nodded, her expression calm but determined. "This is the moment we expected. Prepare battle stations. But remember, our strength isn't just in our weapons. It's in strategy, speed, and adaptability." Tactical Commander Rael Ortiz stepped forward, eyes scanning the glowing holographic projections of the incoming fleets. "Captain, their formation is rigid. They rely on brute force and numbers. If we can exploit gaps in their coordination, we can neutralize their fleet before they overwhelm us." "Exactly," Elena said. "Human ingenuity is our greatest weapon. We fight smart, not just hard." The Odyssey moved into position, its engines slicing through the void with precision. Alien scouts approached first, curious probes meant to test the human ship's defenses. But the humans were ready. With swift maneuvers, they intercepted the scouts, capturing several intact for study. Every encounter was an opportunity to learn. "Captain," Engineer Tara Singh said, adjusting the energy flow to the ship's shields, "we've optimized shield harmonics to withstand sustained plasma bombardment. The Drail will find it difficult to break through." Elena nodded. "Excellent. Make sure weapons are calibrated for precision strikes. Every shot must count." As the Drail fleets closed in, the Odyssey's crew worked seamlessly. Humans had a reputation for creativity, and it was clear now why. Engineers rigged temporary energy loops to amplify shields. Tacticians devised maneuvers that confused alien targeting systems, and communications officers coordinated every action with flawless timing. When the first salvo came, the Drail expected to see panic. Instead, the Odyssey absorbed the initial blasts, its shields glowing brilliantly as energy coursed through the hull. Then, with careful calculation, humans fired back not blindly, but targeting the engines of the largest cruisers, crippling their mobility. The alien fleets faltered. Their rigid formations, built for intimidation and overwhelming force, could not adapt quickly enough to the humans' rapid innovations. Each attack, each countermeasure, showcased humanity's adaptability. Even as the battle raged, Elena kept her eyes on the bigger picture. "We're demonstrating power," she said. "But we're also sending a message. Humans fight to defend themselves, not to destroy without cause. We can be feared, but we can also be respected." And the galaxy took notice. Observers from neutral systems watched the battle, astonished at how a single human battleship maneuvered against multiple fleets and still maintained control. The Drail, for the first time in their history, experienced defeat not because of superior technology, but because of superior strategy, courage, and flexibility. After hours of intense engagement, the Drail fleets retreated. They had underestimated humans, and the cost had been clear. Their ships were damaged, their officers shaken, and their confidence shaken further. On board the Odyssey, the crew breathed a collective sigh of relief. "Captain, we've won the engagement," Rael reported. "All Drail forces are retreating for repairs." Elena looked out at the stars. "This is only the beginning. Victory in one battle does not guarantee peace, but it proves a point the galaxy cannot ignore humanity." While the Drail regrouped, the Odyssey received messages from other civilizations. Some were cautious, offering cautious congratulations. Others were bold, proposing alliances or requesting knowledge transfer. Humans were now recognized not just as fighters, but as problem solvers, innovators, and leaders. Amid the celebration, Elena knew that diplomacy would be as important as combat. She convened a council on the ship, bringing together human leaders and select alien representatives who had shown integrity and foresight. "We've proven our strength," Elena began, "but strength alone does not secure our future. We must build relationships, form alliances, and demonstrate that humanity can contribute positively to the galaxy. Our actions will define our reputation for centuries to come." Lieutenant Amir Chen nodded. "We've seen the galaxy respond to humans with fear and respect. If we combine both with cooperation, we can create a network of allies that will support Earth and human interests." Engineer Tara Singh added, "We've also captured technology from the Drail scouts and surviving ships. Studying it could give us an edge in the future. Knowledge is as important as firepower." Elena smiled. "Exactly. We fight when necessary, but we also learn, adapt, and grow. That is humanity's true strength." As the Odyssey continued its journey, humans began exploring uncharted sectors. They discovered abandoned colonies, lost technology, and civilizations struggling under internal conflict. Where other species saw opportunity for exploitation, humans offered assistance. They repaired ships, shared knowledge, and mediated disputes, earning goodwill and respect. One such encounter took place on the planet Varelia, where two factions had been at war for decades. The humans arrived unannounced, their battleship hovering above the planet. Both factions prepared for attack, expecting a human incursion, but Captain Elena ordered a landing party instead. Humans met with leaders of both factions, speaking plainly and directly. "We are here not to take sides, but to help you find a solution. War weakens everyone. Cooperation strengthens everyone." Skeptical leaders listened. Humans had no hidden agenda, no desire for conquest, only the offer of assistance and knowledge. Over days, humans facilitated negotiations, introduced technology that could benefit both factions, and helped mediate peace. By the end of the mission, Varelia had achieved a fragile but promising truce. The humans left, but their impact was clear. Stories of the humans' fairness, intelligence, and bravery spread quickly. Everywhere the Odyssey traveled, humans were proving a simple yet powerful truth. Might alone did not define greatness. Wisdom, courage, and ingenuity did. Even the Drail Consortium could not ignore these results. General Kryn convened a meeting with his top strategists. The humans are unlike any opponent we have faced, he admitted. They are not merely strong, they are adaptive, clever, and principled. To defeat them, we must rethink our entire approach. Kryn's officers were silent. They had trained for war, but nothing in their simulations had prepared them for humans who could think outside the box, anticipate multiple outcomes, and turn even disadvantage into advantage. Back on the Odyssey, Elena reflected on humanity's progress. We've won battles, forged alliances, and shown the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated, she said quietly. But there is still much to learn. The galaxy is vast, full of unknowns, and challenges will only grow. Our strength will be tested again and again. Lieutenant Amir looked at her. Do you think the galaxy is ready for humans? Elena shook her head with a small smile. The galaxy doesn't need to be ready. We are ready for it. And so, the Odyssey pressed onward, a beacon of human resilience, intelligence, and determination. Every encounter, every challenge, every negotiation strengthened humanity's position. Aliens who once doubted humans now sought their guidance. Enemies who once laughed at humanity's potential now feared their ingenuity. Allies found a partner who was not only capable but also honorable and adaptable. As stars streaked past the Odyssey's hull, Captain Elena Ross stood at the observation deck, contemplating the future. The galaxy was wide, mysterious, and dangerous, but humanity had arrived to leave a mark. The battle for recognition was over. The true journey had just begun, and humanity, with its resilience, creativity, and unwavering courage, was ready to shape the galaxy in ways no one had ever imagined. The galaxy had changed forever. Humanity, once seen as a minor species on a quiet blue planet, was now a force that could not be ignored. The Battleship Odyssey, under Captain Elena Ross, had proven that humans were not only capable of surviving in space, but also excelling, innovating, and leading. Every system they touched learned a simple truth. Humans combined intelligence, courage, and adaptability in ways that others could not match. But with power came new challenges. The Drail Consortium, humiliated by repeated defeats, had begun rallying other discontented species. They were no longer acting alone. An alliance of hostile civilizations, fearful of human influence, was forming in the shadows. Captain Elena knew that a single battleship, no matter how advanced, could not face this combined force alone. Captain, Lieutenant Amir Chen said, pointing at the star charts. We've detected an enormous fleet gathering near the Vexara Nebula. Intelligence suggests multiple species have joined forces. If they strike, it could be catastrophic for any single human vessel. Elena studied the data carefully. Her calm exterior hid the weight of responsibility she felt. This is what we anticipated. Humans cannot survive alone in the galaxy. We need allies, strategies, and an understanding of the battlefield that goes beyond firepower. Tactical Commander Rael Ortiz stepped forward. Captain, if we can coordinate with our allies and use the nebula's terrain, we can turn their numbers into a disadvantage. Their fleet will be less maneuverable in dense cosmic clouds, and we can strike with precision. Elena nodded. Prepare our fleet for deployment. We're not fighting blindly, we're shaping the battlefield. Humanity's reputation had already drawn allies. Civilizations impressed by humans' intelligence, fairness, and courage had pledged ships, resources, and tactical support. From the crystalline Thrin Empire to the technologically advanced Solari Dominion, humans now led a coalition unlike any the galaxy had seen. Captain, Jalen Brooks reported from communications. All Allied fleets are in position. They're awaiting your command. Elena looked out at the vast expanse of stars through the observation deck. This is the moment humans prove what we truly are, not just as fighters, but as leaders. Prepare to demonstrate our strategy. Humanity's strength is in unity, intelligence, and adaptability. As the coalition entered the Vexara Nebula, the combined enemy fleet loomed ahead. Their ships were vast, numerous, and heavily armed. Confident in their overwhelming numbers, they had studied humanity, but they underestimated the humans' ability to coordinate, innovate, and exploit their weaknesses. The first exchange of fire was intense. Alien plasma beams cut through the nebula, illuminating dense clouds of gas and dust. Yet the Odyssey and its allied fleets moved with precision. Using the nebula's terrain to mask maneuvers and protect weaker ships, humans had predicted the enemy's approach patterns, and every strike they launched disrupted formations, targeting engines and weapons systems with remarkable accuracy. Rael Ortiz coordinated attacks from the command deck, issuing orders that combined human intuition with AI calculations. Adjust Vector 2 to 4. Focus fire on the lead cruiser, it's the keystone of their formation. Engineers rerouted energy to shields and weapons, creating temporary amplifications that gave Allied ships the edge in critical moments. Every maneuver, every calculation, every strike displayed human ingenuity. Even the most seasoned alien tacticians could not anticipate the speed and creativity of human-led operations. Hours into the battle, the enemy fleet began to falter. Their ships, while individually powerful, were unable to adapt to the human strategies and coordinated assaults. Panic rippled through their ranks as cruiser after cruiser lost engines or weapon systems. On board the Odyssey, Elena observed the battle with steady determination. "This is not just a victory in combat," she said softly to her officers. "This is a lesson to the galaxy. Humans do not rely solely on strength. We fight with intelligence, coordination, and resolve." The human-led coalition pressed their advantage, using innovative tactics that alien fleets had never faced before. Engineers had developed adaptive shields that redistributed energy from weakened sectors to stronger ones. Tactical teams used decoys and feints to confuse and divide the enemy. And the humans' understanding of psychology, predicting the panic and reactions of their opponents, proved decisive. By the end of the engagement, the enemy fleet was in disarray. Ships retreated in disorder, unable to regroup effectively. The humans and their allies had not only defended themselves but had demonstrated the power of unity, strategy, and adaptability. The aftermath of the battle was profound. News of the victory spread across the galaxy. Systems that had once ignored or underestimated humans now reached out for alliances, trade, and knowledge. The Thrin Empire and Solari Dominion sent emissaries to formally join a human-led coalition, eager to learn from and support humanity. Even species that had remained neutral until now recognized that humans were more than capable. They were essential in shaping the future of interstellar relations. Back on the Odyssey, Captain Elena Ross convened a council of her allies. Leaders of Allied fleets, human commanders, and key diplomats gathered in the main conference room, a circular chamber bathed in soft light. "We have shown the galaxy what humans can achieve," Elena began. "But this is only the start. Our strength is not just in one battleship, or even in one fleet. It is in cooperation, strategy, and the willingness to face challenges together. Humanity has survived because we learn, adapt, and innovate. Now, we must lead by example." Ambassador Liran of the Solari Dominion spoke next. "Captain Ross, humanity's leadership has changed the course of this galaxy. Species that once feared one another are now willing to collaborate. Your approach, strength tempered by intelligence and morality, is unprecedented." Elena nodded. "We do not seek to dominate. We seek to demonstrate that cooperation, fairness, and ingenuity can overcome challenges that brute force alone cannot solve. That is what humans bring to the galaxy." As the coalition traveled through the stars, they encountered systems in need of assistance, civilizations recovering from conflict, planets struggling with natural disasters, and species threatened by piracy all received support from humans and their allies. Each success reinforced humanity's reputation as both powerful and honorable. On one such mission, the Odyssey responded to a distress call from the planet Illyrian. A massive storm system threatened to destroy entire cities, and local defenses were incapable of managing the crisis. Humans coordinated relief efforts, deploying energy shields, rescue ships, and supplies. Engineers taught local scientists how to stabilize energy grids, while medical teams assisted with evacuations. The result was remarkable. Within days, the cities were stabilized, and the disaster was mitigated. The planet's inhabitants hailed humans as heroes, not conquerors, but protectors and innovators. Stories of these deeds spread quickly, strengthening humanity's image across the galaxy. Yet, even as humans celebrated, Elena knew that peace was fragile. The Drail Consortium, humbled but not defeated, continued to plot in secrecy. Other aggressive species, observing human influence, began forming covert alliances. The galaxy was vast and unpredictable, and threats could emerge from any corner. "Captain," Lieutenant Amir said during a late-night briefing, "we've intercepted encrypted communications. The Drail are coordinating with several rogue factions. They plan to strike key systems that rely on human protection. This could destabilize everything we've built." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Then we act before they can. Humans do not wait for threats to reach our doorstep. We protect, we adapt, and we lead." Plans were made. Using intelligence gathered from allied systems and human foresight, the coalition executed preemptive operations. Small, highly trained human units led targeted strikes against key enemy positions, disabling fleets, supply lines, and command centers. Each action was precise, minimizing destruction while maximizing strategic advantage. Through these operations, humans continued to prove what made them extraordinary. Unlike other species, they combined courage, intelligence, and ethics in ways that others could not predict. Even adversaries who had once mocked them came to respect their approach. Finally, as the Odyssey prepared to return to Earth for resupply and regrouping, Captain Elena Ross stood on the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly before her, a reminder of the vastness of the galaxy and the challenges yet to come. "We have achieved much," she said quietly to Amir, who joined her. "But the galaxy is still wide, still unpredictable. Humanity has proven its strength, but we must continue to learn, to lead, and to inspire." Amir nodded. "Humans have done more than survive, Captain. We've shown the galaxy what it means to combine intellect, courage, and morality. Our presence alone changes everything." Elena smiled. "Exactly. And this is only the beginning. Humanity's story in the stars has just started, and the best is yet to come." As the Odyssey glided through the void, humanity's influence spread. Allies rallied to their cause, enemies reconsidered their strategies, and neutral civilizations watched closely, learning from the humans' example. Every action, every decision, and every innovation reinforced the same truth. Humans were not just capable, they were exceptional. The galaxy had witnessed the arrival of Earth's battleship. They had seen its power, its strategy, and its impact. But most importantly, they had seen humanity itself. Resilient, intelligent, courageous, and unyielding. Captain Elena Ross looked toward the stars, a quiet determination in her eyes. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries and challenges. But humanity had arrived to face them head-on. And with every step forward, humans would continue to prove that they were not just a species among many, they were a force capable of shaping the future of the cosmos. The Odyssey moved onward, faster than the speed of doubt, guided by courage, strategy, and the indomitable spirit of humanity. And the galaxy, wide and wondrous, would never again underestimate Earth, for humanity had arrived, and they were here to stay.